All right, hello everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Flecking, Hallsome. Why are you? Welcome back to another episode of Flecking, Hallsome Breakdowns. Jared and I are back as your hosts again, and we're talking about the newest episode, episode 5, Truth. If you'll remember, this was the super emotional episode, and emotional it was. I text Jared about halfway through, and I'm like, I'm welling up right now. I'm welling. I heard Falcon the Winter Soldier was really weird. Not at all. It's really, really good.
Really good. It's better than WandaVision, in my opinion.
Honestly, yeah, I will stand on that ground as well. So as usual, we'll go through, do my rough breakdown, my rough summary of the show, and then we'll get into our thoughts, our theories, our everything that you've come to know and love.
100% correct predictions.
Yeah, we're never wrong, and even when we're wrong, we aren't.
Yep. It depends.
Mephisto will be in the show later.
We saw the red X. He's showing up.
Yeah, we saw that red X in the blue circle. That means Mephisto's coming. Alright, so this episode kicks off putting us right into the events of basically everything following the last episode. So last episode we saw John Walker absolutely murk a man with a shield. The man that talked about how his favorite hero was Captain America growing up.
He looked up to him in life and death.
Shut up, heavy spoilers. Yeah, so we see that, we saw that in the last episode. This episode is, we see John running into some warehouse and just basically having a real freak out moment. And he's just trying to, he's thinking about Lamar, thinking about Lamar talking to him about things, and just trying to Lamar calming him down in past circumstances. He remembers Lamar telling him that in the heat of the battle, he always makes the right decisions. And he's kind of, not so sure about that one, but he's freaking out. Why did I do this? Why did this happen? Why did I do this? All this sorts of things. He is blaming himself in this moment. That won't carry on, and we will not see that for the rest of the episode. But then he calms down, picks the shield back up, looks up, and says, "Let's get to work," which was the lines he said to Lamar before they started tailing Sam and Bucky?
Wasn't it after they left the police station?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, like everybody left, and then let's get to work.
Yep.
So echoing his, before his complete shit show breakdown. Sam and Bucky follow him into this warehouse, trying to coax him to come with them. And we need you to come with us. What you did is bad. We need you to, maybe if you explain the situation, they'll give you a lighter punishment, that sort of thing. And then Sam says, "Come on, give me the shield." Kind of snaps Walker out of it and is like, "Oh, that's your end game. That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to get the shield from me."
End game.
So that snaps John out of it, sends him back into his psycho killer frenzy. Again, we see him, at some point he tackles Sam, lifting that shield up above his head, trying to slam him down. Clearly no remorse from what he did last time. He's ready to do it again.
I am Captain America.
Yeah, that's right. And uttering "I am Captain America," which is another thing that he does again in this episode later on. Really try. And so going on that just a little bit right now, like he'll talk about "I am Captain America, I am Captain America," and later on he'll also say, these people don't understand what it means to be Captain America. So he's got the big head. He's Captain America. No one's gonna take that away from him. Sorry if I'm coughing. I've been sick. There's a big brawl, big fight between Sam, Bucky, and Walker, trying to get the shield back, trying to restrain John, get him to stop. 'Eventually, it ends with Bucky, Sam, and Walker, trying to get the shield back, trying to restrain John, get him to stop. 'Eventually, it ends with Bucky, Sam, and Walker, trying to get the shield back, trying to restrain John, get him to stop. 'Eventually, it ends with John getting his arm broken as they rip the shield from his arm. Also in this battle, Sam's wings break again.
They get ripped off his suit.
It's the second time a super soldier has clipped his wings.
There's a metaphor in there somewhere.
Well, yeah. The first time was Bucky in Winter Soldier. So yeah, they break his arm. They take the shield. Bucky kind of just drops the shield at Sam's side, echoing the Civil War of Cap dropping the shield. But kind of just like, all right, we're done. This is yours. Keep it this time. Kind of is what the kind of the mood I got from that. So we see, after this, we see John go in for his trial. This is, obviously the last episode being titled "The Whole World is Watching." Everyone knows what the fuck he just did. So now he is on trial for his crimes. Trying to follow, listening to Sam, trying to get a chance to explain the circumstances. To which the senator, government official, said that we already know the circumstances. We know what happened. You're lucky I'm not moving for a court-martial. You're lucky you're just getting other than honor discharge. I've never heard it called that before, but
yeah, it's usually dishonorable or honorable.
Yeah, I was like, I've never heard other than honorable, so that was interesting.
We don't want to hurt this man's feelings and he kills someone again. So.
Yeah, that's I was like,
other than honorable, to be determined name discharged.
This is a to be determined charge. But yeah, and again in this court, this is again the courtroom where he says, I am Captain America. You made me. I followed your mandates all of my life. I trained to be what you wanted me to be, and I did what you wanted me to do, and I did it well. So a lot of resentment towards the America, the government that has made him, he feels made him fight for things, being a soldier. And, being kind of forcing this Captain America role onto him. Ultimately, that it ends with him walking out of the courtroom, kind of similar to Tony walking out in Iron Man 2. It's like I'm done here. I got what I wanted. I'm gone. Which is then where we get our super big cameo. It was lame as fuck. We get Val. Which I'm
trying
to think. Yeah.
Woo! A long name.
Contessa Valentina Allegra de la Fontaine. Or Val. But don't say Val, just think it.
Yeah.
But we meet her, and she is our big cameo. She talks to John, talking about it's good that you took the serum. You've become an asset for some high up people, or very, very, very valuable to certain people is what she said. I have the quote right beside me. Talking about as well as that was your second best decision you've made. Your first best decision you'll make is picking up the phone when I call you. So clearly, this is somebody who has plans for John. She wants to use him in the future, possibly setting up a U.S. agent show. Maybe. No.
Not with the hate John Walker Wyatt Russell's already got. I don't think they'll take that risk from like a PR standpoint.
Yeah, no, probably not. But she hands him her business card and says, and the whole shtick of you'll pick up when I call you. When she walks away, John looks at his wife and says, "It's blank," and it's just a completely blank card, like a black business card, nothing on it. So probably hinting at her more mysterious origins. This character is going to be, or probably going to be, Madam Hydra or Viper, who's had a long standing in the comics of being sort of a sleeper agent for Hydra, working alongside Nick Fury in S.H.I.E.L.D., but obviously not being a good guy. So that, that's interesting. It'll be interesting to see what happens with her. Her cameo also was, she was supposed to be a cameo in Black Widow. So that's something to look out for in Black Widow. That probably explains more about who she is, what she's doing. And we'll probably get more into her Hydra background, since it's going to be a more Russian story. But anyway, on to things that are important and not diluted
I don't know
cameos.
if you can hear me, but my Discord crashed and I can't hear you talking, but I can see you on the stream.
Oh, I can hear you, Jared.
1 second.
I am become Jared. Oh, I'm sure again. All
I'm back.
Welcome back.
You just froze, but your stream was still going, and I could see me moving. I'm like, okay, so my Discord didn't crash. What happened?
Weird.
I didn't hear anything after Black Widow.
That's fine. The stream heard it. The audience heard it.
That's what's important.
So after this, we go back to Sam and Bucky. They're kind of talking. Bucky's looking to go after Zemo now that he's gotten away. And Sam goes back to America. He goes and visits Isaiah Bradley again. Well, let me back up. Sam does talk to Joaquin Torres. He's back in the show. He talks to him about everything. The government now has jurisdiction over everything going on. So Bucky and Sam have basically been benched. They can't help out anymore. Sam takes the shield. He's cleaned it off. No more blood. And kind of has his wingsuit in a bag. Joaquin's kind of trying to get that information out. And what happened to your wings? What happened to your wings? He doesn't say. I'm kind of, probably hiding that John took the serum. They probably know John took the serum, but the government doesn't get, so, he's probably at least trying to look out for John and not fuck up his life too much now, even though he did just murder a man. But yeah, so Joaquin takes a special interest in the wings, saying, hey, Sam takes the shield and says, all right, I'll talk to you. And he's like, hey, aren't you going to take your wings? He's like, keep them. Woo! 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 So,
Joaquin Falcon.
Yeah, very likely now we're getting Joaquin Falcon, which is going to be awesome. So then we see Sam going to talk to Isaiah Bradley. Very heavy this episode with a lot of real life parallels going on with things. With like Black Lives Matter movements and everything going on like that. So I won't get too heavy into it, but he does talk about a lot, how he and his troop of people were given the super soldier serum, and not told what it was. They were told it was for the thing from Rust, tetanus.
Tetanus.
Yeah, that one. So, they were experimented on, but told it was just for common vaccines and things that they didn't know of. When they were captured, a few of his soldiers were captured. The military decided they were just going to bomb the building they were in, and instead of saving any of the POWs, to hide the evidence. That was the line from the show, that they were going to hide the evidence that they committed these crimes on these people. So obviously, like I said, a lot of parallels to real life, things that happened in real life, unfortunately. Isaiah does make also mention to the 332nd, which was the Tuskegee Airmen Air Force group. But basically all this kind of talking to Sam, saying, no self-respecting black man would ever want to be Captain America because of the legacy that was brought up with Captain America, the hidden truth behind the shield of the atrocities that happened to these people. So that upsets Sam. He's things he's looked up to, a false idol essentially. He talks to Sarah about it, and he makes a comment of, if I don't, or what's the point of all the sacrifice and pain if I'm not willing to stand up and fight? Which I thought was a really great line from him. That's all he's ever, that's all he's ever done. Every time he's gotten a situation, he's always just looked at it and went to fight since we've seen him in the show. So I thought that was very good of him. Excuse me. So we get that, and that's pretty much the moment that Sam decides, I'm gonna be Captain America. I'm taking this shield for myself this time, and he's gonna call in some favors and fix up the boat. So finally, this boat is getting fixed. They're keeping the boat.
Sold. It was getting fixed to be sold, and then Sarah's like,
we're not selling it.
You silly goose, I wouldn't do that.
Mr. Din backed down and then said something in Vietnamese. I love that little line from AJ. But yeah, they fix up the boat. There's a really nice moment with Sam and Bucky and everybody fixing up the boat. Really kind of finally giving us that actual touchy-feely camaraderie moment between the two, whereas it's always been more that buddy cop of, oh, I hate you, but we're working together, and I also don't mind you all that much. But, we have this, actual brotherly moment between them. They talk about Steve. Sam tells Bucky to stop comparing himself to what Steve thought of him. It doesn't matter what Steve thought of anybody. It doesn't matter what anybody thinks of Bucky. If he's going to make these amends, he has to do it so that they feel good, not so that they make him feel good. And a lot of, just a real nice moment between them. Sam even really points out that I'm sure there's somebody in that book that needs closure. Obviously, very much about Yori. The person that probably popped into Bucky's mind was Yori. So Bucky leaves. They're talking, if there's a lead, you tell me and I will come help you fight it. And then we get a very nice training montage from Sam, training to be Captain America.
I am an absolute sucker for every training montage ever.
Yep. Well, I loved it. I honestly love, though, that like in Sam's head, all he needed to be was Captain America was throw the shield and flip.
Yeah, and I kept thinking, like, when he was running, just what's going through his head? On your left, on your left, on your left.
Yep.
That's all it was him getting better, throwing the shield, and doing some aerials.
Yeah.
That's like all it was. I am captain now.
But it's going to be, like, obviously the big thing is no super soldier serum. And that's always been that way with Sam in the comics, is he's never needed the super soldier serum. He's never felt he's needed it. And that's a big thing this season. Obviously the Flag Smashers have the serum. Now Walker has the serum. Bucky's had the serum since 45. So it's going to be a big thing for Sam to not have it, and probably very likely be just as strong as any of them. That was... We get the training montage. We get him opening a briefcase he got from Bucky while they were fixing up the ship. Bucky told Io that he needed a favor from them, and delivers a Wakandan briefcase. And we don't know
already what... had his thumbprint programmed.
Yeah, yeah. They kind of hand waved that one, but it's fine. But we end the episode with Sam opening the box, and then that's it. We don't see what's in the box. Jared and I have our speculations on it, obviously. And then we get the first mid-credit scene of the season. And it is John Walker making his own shield. So he's just taking, metal out of his, it looks like his own garage, welding it, grinding it, making a shield, and then we see him take his Medal of Honor and weld that onto the shield. I thought it was interesting. He is still keeping the blue, red, white, and blue color scheme. He hasn't, incorporated the black of U.S. Agent, but we'll see how that, because I guess he still thinks he is Captain America. So, but that is my breakdown and also some of my own thoughts on that. Jared, take it away.
I'm just gonna touch on a couple things you missed.
All right, go ahead.
So, Bucky, he goes after Zemo, right? He finds Zemo at the Sokovian Memorial. And during the fight between Sam, Bucky, and John in the beginning, first thing Bucky does is take John's gun away and, knock it aside. And that's presumably the gun Bucky has when he goes to meet Zemo. And Zemo's essentially like, yo, man, Carly's way too far gone. You gotta kill her. And then Bucky pulls out this gun, and he points it right at Zemo's face, and he's like, and then he pulls the trigger, and nothing happens, and Zemo's like, oh. And then Bucky drops the bullets, and that's really just showing that Bucky isn't a killer anymore. That's not who he is. He's not going to kill Carly. And then I always forget the name of the Wakandan fighter group.
Dora Milaje.
Dora Milaje. Okay, yeah. They show up, take Zemo.
Hey, ladies.
That'll be interesting to see how that goes.
Yeah.
Another thing, we see Sharon Carter.
Oh yeah. Jared, I can't.
Hold me back.
Okay,
I wasn't talking.
Okay, I was gonna say, I was like, I couldn't hear you. I just saw you go like this, I'm like, uh oh.
Well, she's on a phone call with some dude in an Algerian prison.
Who we learned in 3 seconds from the subtitles.
Batroc, the Leaper.
Batroc the Leaper.
Right. Yep. And she's like, "Hey, you need to kill some people." And he's like, "Okay, I want Sam Wilson."
Okay.
Weed.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I was like, I also missed that. Yeah, so she hires Batroc. We see Batroc meet up with Carly, bringing Carly weapons, talking about how he wants to kill Sam. And Carly's like, he's like, I'm not fighting your fight. I'm just here to kill Sam. And Carly's like, you'll get your time. And then lights up, basically a phone beacon that we've seen them do in the past at the meetup from where Joaquin got the shit kicked out of him. And everybody in this public park kind of groups up. And Joaquin talks about how they've gotten, hits on different locations before the Flag Smashers have attacked. And they just got a ping in New York. And while that conversation's going on, there's a news broadcast about the Stamp Act vote from the Global Repatriation Committee.
Wasn't it the Patch Act?
Patch Act, sorry, not Stamp Act. That was a real thing. Yeah, the Patch Act.
That does sound right, but
it's not wrong. That probably did happen in this universe. Yeah, the Stamp Act. So, and then we get a cut
Patch
to
Act.
God damn it, the Patch Act. As we're ending the episode, we get that shot of Sam. We also get a shot of the voting room, the UN circle, whatever, the global repatriation circle. The lights go red, basically, on emergency power. The power's been cut from that room, and the screens start sputtering. So it's assumed to be the Flag Smasher attack.
Yeah, it's super intriguing because we get a little look inside the GRC's discussion on the matter, and they are split. But then there's a couple. They're the whole matter is about deporting refugees back to their country of origin. Yep. So they're obviously split on it, and a couple people are like, "Do we even need a vote on it? It's obvious." And then that's when it goes. So that's just another thing where it's really playing to the politics of the viewers of understanding why Carly's against it. But let's get into some breakdowns. As I said earlier this week on one of Trey's streams, I will be taking the side of John Walker. No, but
we all are Captain America.
Captain America is really a mindset. But so yeah, this dude's definitely mentally unstable. We get even more of that idea of from Captain America: First Avenger, where Stanley Tucci says, like, it just makes you more of what you already are. So good becomes great, bad becomes worse. And John Walker's definitely getting worse. But the interesting thing with him making his own shield is we actually do see it in the trailer. It shows a clip from episode 6. And he's wearing the suit he's always had, so he doesn't change the suit, and he's really sticking true to I am Captain America. Also, another interesting thing we see in this episode is that John actually went to Lamar's parents and like family. I think it was his sister was there, and he was explaining, and then Lamar's mom's really just stroking his pride. And she's like, yeah, Lamar always talked about how great you were and how lucky he was to work with you as Captain America. And he's like, I'm the best.
I'm the best.
My best friend liked me. So, yeah, it's just building up to him exploding eventually. But, like, John Walker, Endgame, he hasn't... Okay. I would like to think he's going to get labeled as U.S. Agent before the end of the series because he is credited as U.S. Agent, but the way it's looking, like he's obviously not going to die or anything, and he's going to go away because they 100% building the Thunderbolts with everything that's going on.
Yeah, because they're getting sent to the raft, and who works at the raft?
Zemo's going to the raft! And General Ross is in charge of the raft. Yeah. I as soon as I said Zemo was going away, I'm like, there's something there that I'm missing. I'll find it later. Thank you so much.
Yep. Yeah, that was my thing too. It was like, oh shit, the raft. Like, oh fuck. Yeah, that very much those Thunderbolts is happening. That almost confirms it.
Yeah. But yeah, that makes me think, since there's already 2 there, they could possibly be like, oh, John, you fucked up even more. You're going to the raft.
Right.
Like, they could just send everyone to the raft, and then we'll get a little post-credit scene of General Ross standing in front of all of them, real Suicide Squad style. Be like, what is this?
Where are we? Some kind of Thunderbolt squad? But see, here's the kicker with Thunderbolt Ross, all right? Red Hulk.
Yeah, that's what has to happen.
So
he's the power broker.
He's the power broker. He gets high on his own supply, and he becomes Red Hulk. Honestly, that's my whole thing. That's my whole reason of thinking.
Dead, so they don't have anyone to make the serum, but if they get John, they could experiment on him to recreate the serum.
I was gonna say, you're telling me Nego was the only guy making that serum? Bullshit. I'm calling bullshit on that. We seen the serum in Hulk, in Incredible Hulk. Nego was not the only guy making that serum. We've also
seen theories talking about how the serum could be derived from the Black Panther herb.
I've seen that a lot too, yeah. Because it makes sense, because we've obviously seen that comparison between Cap and Steve, or Cap and T'Challa. So.
Yeah. All right. Yep.
Got a little excited on that one.
Yeah, that was. I want to go on. We're done. Thanks.
We're done. Leave your theories in the chat. Maybe we'll read them, but we're just gonna go off and talk about the Thunderbolts now.
Yeah. So Sam Wilson. This was a great story for him because he's finally accepting the fact that he was chosen by Steve Rogers. Which in this episode, Sam says Steve is gone, and that makes it sound like he died.
Yeah, that's kind of been the whole mood this whole season. I've never been on the side of Steve's coming back in this episode, and then this episode cemented that.
Yeah, like I wasn't really expecting it, but I wish they explained it a little better. Like, I don't know. He was just such a, like, purely meta. He was such a big part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe that I feel like they would want some sort of, what's the word? Closure by having like a funeral or something like that, or like show a gravestone in Arlington Cemetery or something along those lines. Like,
yeah,
instead of he's gone. Sorry, like. But also at the end of Endgame, they kind of accepted that he didn't come back and he's old now. He lived his life. He just doesn't want to be bothered.
I was
so like them respecting that. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
He was actually murdered and buried in a backyard.
Oh fuck! It was Peggy
like Old
all
Yeller.
along.
He was Old Yeller. Okay, so yeah, Sam Wilson. He's finally becoming Captain America. Trey and I's theory of what's in the thing. Pretty sure it's a vibranium Captain America suit type thing. Because I mean, he's obviously not a super soldier, so he needs a little extra protection.
Yep.
But that man was getting very crafty with a shield.
Let me hit you with something else as well, because I thought of this and then I saw it online and it reminded me. Vibranium wings. And Sam and Joaquin can fly.
I mean, yeah, because the leaked like action figure of Captain America Sam Wilson still had his Falcon suit just with a shield, and that's what Sam Wilson Captain America is.
Mm-hmm. But I would say that's always kind of been the comic of him too. When he took on the Captain America mantle, he was still Falcon, but also Captain America.
It was a real small suitcase. But
it's Wakanda.
Yeah, like I imagine it's just the full fit, like Captain America Falcon suit. But yeah, if Joaquin doesn't show up in this final episode with some wings, I'm gonna be a little pissed. But I'm also fine. Up. Yeah, I was gonna say I'm also fine if they're just like, yeah, fix the wings. Thanks, Sam.
I need a sidekick. Yeah, I was gonna say I think it's gonna be more something down the road. Yeah, that's really gonna happen now. I think Bucky's done after this series. Yep.
That's like good for him. He's gonna retire to Wakanda.
Yeah.
Because they keep making mentions of how he needs to be careful and like avoid Wakanda. So I think because he turned Zemo in, he's like making amends. He'll come back and he's like, I don't need to leave again. I'm fine with staying here and just grow old and eat some plants.
Eat some plants. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm not ready for that. I was just thinking about that today after the whole everything happened. I'm like, oh fuck, Bucky's done, isn't he? He's gonna leave. I don't think he's gonna die, but he's gonna leave.
Yeah, he's gonna leave. So going back to John Walker, Trey and I were talking about this before we started, but it's like confirmed that there's been a lot cut because of just COVID and everything like that. John's fucking wife. I don't like the character because they first off, you have to guess, you have to do your research to even figure out that it's his wife because she shows up at the high school and makes it seem like some high school lost love type situation. Never really says anything that really cements like, oh, they're married. And then like they put a close up of her at the court scene. I'm like, I don't care about her. We've seen her in one other episode. I don't need this relationship built. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, honestly, until she followed him out into the hallway, I completely forgot that that's who that was. I was like, why does this camera keep pushing in on this random woman?
Like, I understand if she had a bigger part before they had to cut stuff, but they should have just cut the whole character. Like for the actor's sake, I'm glad they left her in. But for the viewer's sake, it's pointless. That adds nothing to the story at all. Especially because John is doing his own shit anyways. Yeah. His wife wasn't in the garage.
Where's his wife building the shield?
In a cave!
John Walker built this! In a cave! Oh, I love that.
So yeah, that's my little rant about her. But yeah, Joaquin Torres has the wings now. He probably won't get name dropped as the Falcon, but there'll be some mention of him wanting to work with Sam, probably. I'm still waiting for the scientist to experiment on him and make him a human bird vampire with a psychic link to a Falcon.
That's after Morpheus. We'll be more accepting of vampires after Blade and Morpheus.
They have to build us up to it.
Right.
Yeah, so Madam Hydra.
Here we go.
So you said earlier that she's a cameo in Black Widow, but I think she might be actually a role. I was under the impression she was a somewhat stable character in that movie, just because they're considering this a cameo, and for that to have any effect to after Black Widow, we would need to kind of know her. So it will be interesting to see what that's about in Black Widow for sure. But because that takes place, it's after Civil War, right?
Yes. Before.
Before Civil War,
Maybe.
like anything that really happened. Well, either way, it's all before Endgame and Infinity War. So anything that really happens doesn't really matter in the long run, unless it's like behind the scenes, and that's why she's in America.
Right.
But
Coming to America?
she's she's Madam Hydra, but she's also Viper. We have seen Viper in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which I personally never watched, but to my understanding, she was in that show. And Viper is also in The Wolverine. So them having mad rapport and getting people hyped for like Wolverine and stuff, I think that's a nice little addition just for like the comic fans. Because anyone who's never read comics or didn't bother to research, like before I looked her up, I had no idea who this character was. Like, So that's why a lot of people who were hyping up the cameo, and then people are like, yeah, you need to stop, because I guess there's a lot of backlash with the WandaVision cameo, and that's all Paul Bettany's fault. They can blame him solely for that.
Love Paul Bettany, but never fucking do that again.
Fuck you, Paul.
Fuck you, Paul.
So Hydra obviously has been underground for a while. They were found out, case was busted, and they're like, shit. Last time we saw a real instance of Hydra was in Ant-Man, when Hydra guys stole some PIM particles. So they're throwing in these little things to kind of, I think they're hinting that it's building back up again. Hydra's going to make an appearance, so it's going to be probably a while down the road, but just having these
from the ashes
known.
And then I was like, oh wait, that's Phoenix imagery, not Hydra imagery.
We don't talk about Phoenix.
We don't talk about Phoenix. Jean Grey who?
Exactly. Mystique? Oh, she died.
She died.
So yeah, just throwing in these little Hydra Easter eggs for people to find, to be like, oh shit. But yeah, because she's in Black Widow, I just want that movie to come out. That's all I want from that. I don't want anything else. Just come out, have me be disappointed, and get it over with.
At this point, the movie could be the Marvel title credits and then the end credits, and I'd be happy. Just like as long as I got to see the Black Widow title card. Like, that's it.
Just give me the highlights. 5 minutes tops.
Show me fucking Red Adam, and then we're done. That's it. That's all I want.
Yeah, so going into the final episode, we're obviously already like coming to the start of this GRC attack. Carly's gonna be there. She's ready to kill. She's flying off the hinges. Mm-hmm. It'll be interesting to see what happens with her, because she's like a figurehead. I can see because they're pushing so much the idea of not killing her. I can see her getting killed by like
John.
Well, just like out of the blue, like an accident.
Yeah.
Like Sam messes up a shield throw and knocks her out, and then it's like, oh, my bad. But yeah, that's a good point. I can't even process John's thought. Because like
no thought.
He's coming back. He's obviously pissed at Sam and Bucky, but most of all Carly, because of Battlestar.
Mm-hmm.
So that is true. I am pretty set on the idea that Carly's also not going to be going anywhere after this, because Flag Smashers as a whole is a group, and she's a figurehead. I could see like something happening to her to sort of push off the movement, but then just the movement be referenced throughout Marvel properties. Right. And just be like, yeah, the Flag Smasher group, or like a random ass newsreel, or like, yeah, the Flag Smashers took over another compound, something along those lines.
Let me hit you with something. All right, Marvel Secret Invasion. The Flag Smashers are all Skrulls. And that's my wild theory for Phase 4 or Phase 5, because Secret Invasion's coming out in Phase 5.
Wild theory.
Wild theory.
Hydra are all the Flag Smashers.
No. Hydra's the power broker.
The Flag Smashers are the literal Hydra, and they will all dissolve and form into a monster.
Roll for initiative.
And it's being controlled by Mephisto.
Oh my god! It's all connected, and Steve Rogers is on the moon.
Anyways, so this episode was 60 minutes long. It's the longest Marvel episode we've had from any Marvel property.
Yep.
Because this was 60 minutes long and it was episode 5, like, yeah, they had a lot to pack in there, but it's making me think episode 6 will probably also be 60 minutes long, if not a little longer. Because it's the last episode, they have to wrap up a lot of loose ends. Because we have so many lines to follow now, especially because Bucky and Falcon, like, went their separate paths. Like, they're obviously going to come together for fighting in New York, but we have to find out what happens with Bucky. We have to find out what happens with Sam, John, Carly, GRC in general. Like, I hope Batroc dies, just because then they can't throw him in for useless cameos.
Well, he'll probably get arrested, thrown on the raft, and then used.
They're gonna kill everyone.
No,
I want the League of Villains. That's what I want to see. Bucky. See, Bucky's episode 1 interest, Leah. She is credited for 1 episode, right? Did I say 2 or 1?
You said 2 episodes.
Where is she? Yeah, 2 episodes. But right now, Yori's still credited for 1, but I've learned not to trust IMDb because they're stupid. But yeah, she's credited for 2, so there's no way he would go see her and not Yori. But Bucky for sure is going to go make amends with Yori. So yeah, that's something I wanted to add. Sam tells him, he's like, saying you're sorry isn't making amends. Doing something to help the people, like find closure or just help them in general, is making amends. And that's why Bucky's still having nightmares, because he hasn't fully made amends. So yeah, that wasn't just thrown out there for fun. That means he's going back.
Right.
Sharon, I'm so interested to see what they do with Sharon.
I was gonna say, while you were talking about Batroc, let's not get too far away from that. Yeah, because Sharon. So Sharon calls Batroc, calling in a favor essentially. To who knows? She just threatens to, reminds him that she got him out of that Algerian prison. So basically calling in a favor for something, but I don't think she says. She just, I don't remember.
Well, wasn't it? Well, yeah, that's the thing. Like, she's sicking him onto Sam, which is fucking wild.
Okay, maybe I missed that then. Okay.
Well, yeah, that's Batroc's only goal.
Gotcha.
I could find it real quick, probably.
But yeah, so the leading theory right now with Sharon is that the 2 leading theories, I subscribe to not one of them, is that she is A, the power broker, or B, working with the power broker. I subscribe more to the working with the power broker, because we've heard male pronouns used for the power broker throughout the series.
Yeah,
it's not to say that it couldn't happen, but it's very unlikely that it will be Sharon.
Yep. Because she's in Madripoor, and that's already been labeled as like the place for criminals. So right off the bat, she's a little sus.
Right.
But
so I'm interested to see why Batroc is working with. I mean, obviously to kill Sam, but if Batroc is working now for Sharon's working for the power broker. The power broker wants Flag Smashers. They've been chasing them since the first episode.
But you would think that by now they would have heard that the serum got destroyed.
That's true.
That's what they're after.
That's true. They're just after the serum.
Where is it? Where is Sharon? Okay, there she is.
Yeah, that's a good point. I forgot about that. They weren't after the people. They were after the remaining serum. So.
All right, play.
But yes, Sharon wanting Bucky or Sam dead is.
Sharon, I have a job for you. Batroc speaking French. Please, if it weren't for me, you'd be rotting in that Algerian prison speaking French.
This is speaking French.
And she says, finished and speaking French. I can give you double this time. So she's worked with him before, and that makes you think that she hired him to get the soldier in episode 1.
Yeah.
Which is, why? Why, Sharon?
Why, Sharon?
She says, I promise you won't regret saying yes, so what's it going to be? And then it cuts.
Okay.
So, but because Batroc goes to Carly and is like, I'm only here for Sam, we are because, like, it's not necessarily a personal grudge, because when he was first out after someone, it was just a random ass, like, soldier.
Right.
It wasn't Sam. So, yeah. Sharon, come on!
So...
I know you had a thing for your uncle, but...
But yeah, so Sharon's...
Because he married your aunt doesn't mean you need to send Hitman out on your uncle's best friend.
Yeah. But I think my theory is still going to hold up. I seriously think it's going to be Ross. Ross, she took a plea deal to work with Ross after Civil War, so now she's been keeping an eye on things in Madripoor.
All right, I have a theory for you.
Go for it.
So Zemo says he knew the power broker from early on, like a while ago.
Right.
But the power broker has always been kind of a business position. The old power broker could have died or something and gotten replaced by Sharon, and then Zemo wouldn't know. But I'm not on the train of her being the power broker solely because she kills Nate. Like, she's there when Nagel dies, and she also kills the men coming after him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so like I wouldn't think she would kill her own men, but
right.
Yeah, I swear to God, if they don't make it clear enough for my dumb brain to understand in episode 6 what she is.
So you also had mentioned, I mean, this is something we talked about. I don't know if it was on the last episode or not, but you talked about things they've been referring to it as as a series, as a season, not as a series, which they did do a lot with WandaVision as well.
Yeah.
But I think there's too many loose ends, and I think it's almost worth a second season. I think if it does wrap up in this next episode, it's not going to be good.
Yeah, I agree. I really do hope there's a second season, but because they have so much on deck with movies and other shows, and like how quickly they're planning on putting stuff out, I don't see where they would have time to put out, because they wouldn't overlap seasons with another show. And like they could throw stuff in between movie releases, because that obviously doesn't take up too much time. But I don't know. I could see them doing something along the lines of just like releasing extra episodes, maybe not setting it to a conformed season necessarily, but because they refer to WandaVision as a season, and that it's really kind of that's concluded.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I'm but at the same time, they were talking with the showrunner, and he corrected himself from saying series to season. I don't know.
I think, if they are going to do it, this is the series to do it with. Because WandaVision clearly wasn't. There's like, we knew that was going to wrap itself up, just the nature of the mystery. Once that was solved, we weren't going to get a season 2. Loki, I don't think is going to draw itself out. I think it's just going to be, I mean, maybe, depending on the nature of it, but I think that's going to be a limited, 9-10 episode run.
Yeah, especially because that's going to be like probably setting up to just be like a single plot line. Like, Owen Wilson picks up Tom Hiddleston, and now they have to fix problems.
Right. But like, with all their, us theorizing that they're setting up the Thunderbolts, the secret invasion stuff that they have planned for the future, and all this stuff with the Skrulls, having a more grounded, spy thriller show like, Falcon the Winter Soldier, the Cap universe of shows, it makes a lot of sense to, have it on the back burners. Like, okay, throw in a season, explain some of this more. Basically the Agents of Shield, like, explain some of this more minutia that people didn't get in the movies.
Yeah, and that's completely fair, especially because they were talking about a more grounded character, which we found out is going to be Madam Hydra, to ground the earth-shaking character like Thor. So, like, they are set on having something to pull back all the mystical shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say
Especially with what's going to happen with Multiverse of Madness and everything like that.
Yeah, I would say
But
with Thor and Doctor Strange and WandaVision and Spider-Man, like, they're definitely going to need to have a really heavy ground to fall back on as well.
yeah, and I mean, Spider-Man is a little better because they can always push that friendly neighborhood type stuff. But because No Way Home is setting up to open some doors to some bigger things, yeah, they need Captain America.
Yep.
That's really one of the real grounded things.
We're at the we're 10 minutes left, so while we continue talking, if anybody has any questions, any theories they want to share, go ahead and put them in chat. I've been kind of watching the chat all night. Any live questions? But yeah, go ahead and pop them in there. We'll be reading them.
Don't know how babies are made, so I can't help you. Still working on that one myself. I've read many books.
I've read many books.
That was being sussy imposter.
Yeah, I saw that one. Yeah, Val is... I mean, this was something I was talking to Jared with. Obviously, like, it was supposed to be a character in Black Widow and then a cameo in this, and it was like, like I said in the last episode, like in the last of this show, I had said that, like, obviously this cameo is probably going to be something from Black Widow, so that in this one we could go, oh, I understood that reference.
Yeah, and I mean, even though she is, like, gonna be a established character in Black Widow, I think they still should have given her more context in this show.
I think so too.
Like, I understand cameos, but I don't know. Oh, hey, remember when I was in Russia? Yeah, well, now I'm here.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, obviously. Like, she's unknown to John completely. So it was supposed to be more like, dramatic irony. We know who she is, but no one else does. And obviously that dramatic irony falls flat when you haven't even set her up yet. Yeah. Because I mean,
it's the Skrull invasion theory, but that's a brave move. Not gonna lie, I agree.
It is. That's my all right. I need a wild theory that if I'm right, I can rub it in somebody's face. But I mean, Secret Invasion is being like, that's not a wild thing. Secret Invasion is confirmed so far for Phase 5. So
I don't know. I could see that being more Hydra based though. Just because
that's true. If they are hitting Hydra heavy again now, it very much could
they're
be.
Like throwing in little stuff. They're setting up Madam Hydra, like, and that's the whole basis behind Hydra in general, is working underground and showing up when they're not supposed to be there.
Do you think they do it again though? I mean, that was the whole point of Winter Soldier.
Well, yeah, like I get that Winter Soldier kind of focused on that, but we've never really seen Hydra from the side of Hydra, though.
That's true. That's a good point. Yeah.
Like, we don't really know how they operate. They're kind of just there in secret. Ready to invade.
Ready to invade.
Skrulls aren't really Cap's jurisdiction. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
But Nick Fury was a Skrull.
Yeah, I was going to say Talos, though. Like, Talos was pretty...
Yeah. They're kind of just there.
They're kind of just there. I am interested to see what goes on with this whole Skrull thing, since it's now 2 post-credit scenes with Skrulls.
Maybe yeah. That's where Nick Fury's Skrull ship was going to invade.
Yeah. Speaking of post-credit scenes, where was the last time we saw New York in the MCU? Spider-Man. At the end of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting. Now we're seeing it again, getting attacked by the Flag Smashers. So that'll be interesting.
Well, yeah, because that'd be before Far From Home.
Because this is before Far From Home. Yep.
This is 6 months after, and Far From Home was 8.
Yep. So like it's a short window of time too. Like this would have been fresh in people's minds.
Yeah. Damn. I'm so excited for No Way Home.
I am too.
Oh my god, Ned. I can't believe Ned is Green Goblin.
Oh my god. I can't believe Arthur Garfield and Seabiscuit guy are in this again.
Hey, is that the guy from Seabiscuit? I love that so much. For those of you who don't understand that, there is it was a tweet, I think, and it was like, I want the only reference to Tobey Maguire to be like Wong opening a portal and being like, is that the guy from Seabiscuit? And that's all we get. That's the closest we get to Tobey Maguire. Hydra is unpredictable, but not that effective either. A guy with a garbage lid beat them for like 40 years straight. Well, that's the thing. Like, they weren't, like, yeah, they were active, and we have Red Skull and everything, but they weren't, like, out in the open trying to get things done.
At that point, they were just Nazis. It was kind of the Hydra was a secret Nazi group. Now it's a secret U.S. military SHIELD group when we saw them in Winter Soldier.
Is that forced parallelism? You can decide.
Somewhere, George Lucas is saying that he likes poetry because it rhymes. But as I was saying, I was saying I want Wong to open the portal, and all we hear is, "You gonna cry?" And that's it.
I'm gonna throw dirt in your eye.
I'm gonna put some dirt in your eye.
No, I want Wong to open a portal, and all we hear is the music from Spider-Man 3 when he's walking.
I can just hear the pelvic thrusts of Tobey Maguire. The air whooshing through his pelvis.
All right, how do I clip that?
Jared, clip that here in chat.
Working on it. Terrible at making clips.
Probably for the best. Oh shit. I'm looking through some of these Easter eggs real quick. Oh yeah, I had mentioned, that the senator from the trial, same guy that was kind of looked like he was leading the global repatriation stamp Patch Act vote. And he was the guy from the beginning of the first episode that gave John Walker the shield, took the shield from Sam. That guy is still only credited as government official. And I don't know if it's just like, he's only going to be important for the show. But even still, he seems to be a little more important for this show than to not have a name. That's odd.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I agree, but at the same time, he is probably only for this show. They just needed someone to play a government official. Because like he's more than likely not going to show up in anything else.
Right.
Damn it, now that song stuck in my head.
Alright. That's going to be it for our show tonight. Thank you everybody who came out to watch. A lot of people tonight. This was fun.
Finale next week.
Yeah, your finale next week. And then Idiosyncrasies podcast starting that following week with Jared Landon and I. Hopefully. It may just be Jared and I. It may just be another podcast with Jared and I.
We're just going to sit and talk.
Yep. But yeah, so it's going to be more chillax, more laid back, off-topic sort of podcast. No real focus on that one, but it'll be a nice break in between this and Loki, because we'll have a nice long break between those. So Yeah, that's gonna be it. Jared, I don't know if you're up to play any games tonight.
I mean, I could be easily persuaded
You
into
wanna play
doing almost anything.
You want to play some Overwatch?
Always down for Overwatch.
All right, so stick around if you're still here. Maybe we'll round up some people and play some Overwatch. Yeah, thank you everybody. This has been a lot of fun. Love y'all. Peace out.
You make it worth it.